Welcome back, everyone! This is Jaronitis bringing you Feed the Beast 1710. Today we are starting on episode 18, and today we are getting started with something new, something fresh, and we're going to use some blood magic, some Botania stuff with it. It's blood magic. I am starting out by making a Rune of the Spring, because, Rune of the Spring. And as you can see, the Rune of the Spring is simply a Rune of Water, a Rune of Fire, 3 saplings, and a piece of wheat. There's a very good reason for this, and I'll tell you what it is, eventually. Okay, I'll do it right now. We are making what's called a Fallen Kanade, or Kanade. I think it's supposed to be said Kanade, Kanade, whatever. I say Kanade, you say Kanade. Let's call the whole thing off. Anyway, requires Rune of Spring. It's going to require 3 white petals, a yellow petal, an orange petal, and a brown petal. We should have all of those available real quick. And there's a very good reason for this, because when you're playing with blood magic, you want to have something like this handy. What was it? It was brown, 3 white, orange, and yellow. Brown, 3 white, orange, and yellow. Alright, and of these, we have 1 that is normal, and all of the rest are mana petals. I can work with that. Let's see, drop 1, 2... and that should be that. Now we need to have this. Oh. I still don't have a way to get that thing refilled easily, do I? Well, I guess technically this isn't hard, but I would prefer to make it an even easier way. Oh wow, my infinite water source right there is covered over. You know, I think I need to do something about this. This is getting ridiculous. But I don't have time for that right now because that's not what we're covering this episode. So there is a way to do it, by the way. Botania actually adds their own way to make that work. And I'll go over that at some point. There's that. That's all in there. And I just need 1 normal everyday seed. And yowza! 1 Fallen Kanade. Alright, so with the Fallen Kanade, we're going to actually need a mana pool and a little bit of mana. I don't think I have an extra mana pool just laying around, but that's okay. Mana pools are easy to make. And of course, this being a diluted mana pool, we'll upgrade it to a full mana pool. And it is pretty much nighttime, so let's wait a second before we get going on this. Alright, cool. So now we have a Fallen Kanade, and we have a mana pool. And that is the beginnings of blood magic. Okay, maybe not quite really, but it's a good thing to have. It's going to make the beginnings of blood magic a lot easier. So if you've already gotten your basics of Botania set up, it doesn't take a whole lot to make one of these, and it's very beneficial if you're going to start with blood magic. That being said, let's start with blood magic. So the first thing we're going to need when we start blood magic is going to be, well, you can go either way, either a blood altar or a sacrificial knife or orb, whichever version you're playing with. We'll start with the blood altar because it's right there on the front. We're going to need 2 pieces of gold, a furnace, and 4 smooth stone. So let's see. I should have an extra furnace in here. You know, this is like the 3rd time I've expected to have an extra furnace in there and not had it. I think I'm going to make a bunch of furnaces and just toss them in there so that I will have them next time I need one. That being said, I'll never need one again, and then I'll be like, why do I have all these extra furnaces? Whatever. Sometimes when you just can't win, you just can't win. That's alright. 2 furnaces. Now we'll have 1 extra in here. I swear one day, sometime, like soonish, I'll actually mark that to be like what it's supposed to be. And no smooth stone either? Oh wow, I feel horribly unprepared. That's alright. Let's see, let's just take... It's one of the disadvantages of compressing all your cobblestones. Sometimes you just don't have what you need. Alright, thankfully these things are really fast, so this should only take a second to go ahead and cook me up enough smooth stone to be usable. In the meantime, let's look up the sacrificial knife. Sacrificial knife, just a prick of the finger will suffice, is simply a piece of iron, gold, and 5 pieces of glass. So let's grab an extra piece of iron, well, a piece of iron, an extra piece of gold, and actually the glass is in here too, isn't it? No, it's not, but there's all that extra smooth stone that we now have. I love having those things working so fast for me. Alright, toss this in here to make it normal glass, and we should be able to go ahead and make ourselves... Oops. There we go, sacrificial knife. Alright, sacrificial knife is the beginning part. Next we'll make the blood altar since we're already here. And I'm missing something. How am I missing something? Oh, the furnace. Duh. Alright, cool. So now that we have the sacrificial knife and the blood altar, we're going to go outside and we're going to set up a basic setup for this. I'm going to build a building for this just like I did for the mob spawner. But for now, we're just going to do this out here in the open because I have plans. Plans, I tell you! Alright, so anyway, don't mind me. I'm in a really fun mood today. So we're going to go ahead and place this Fallen Kanade right here. We're going to put a mana pool right next to it. And basically the way the Fallen Kanade works is that it takes mana from the mana pool and provides you with a regen effect. Okay? It's actually a very cool thing to have because what we're going to be doing here in just a second is going to be... Why is that? Oh, hey, look, it does hunger now. Well, that's interesting. I don't remember it doing that in the past. Good to know. Anyway, I heard that. Anyway, so when you have the blood altar and you have the sacrificial knife, when you right-click the sacrificial knife, and we're going to stand back away from the regen for a second so the regen will go away. When you right-click it, it takes away one of your hearts. Okay? I wasn't standing close enough to the blood altar for it to do anything, but when you right-click, it takes away one heart, and if you're standing close enough to a blood altar, it is going to put life essence, or life points, LP, into the blood altar. It's basically drawing your blood and putting your blood in the altar. It's kind of gruesome. If you're sensitive about that, I apologize. If you're not sensitive about that, bleed! No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, as you can see, the blood just disappeared. Okay? It's not... It's supposed to do that. It's not abnormal. Okay? Basically, there is a hidden buffer inside of the blood altar. It's basically, there is the usable blood, and that's what you see here at the top. And then there is a transferable blood. The transferable blood is kept in a secondary tank inside the altar. You can't see it, it just exists. So the first little bit that you put in there is going to go into that transfer tank, just like that. Okay, so the reason I have this here is because, as you can see, it is slowly but surely killing me. Okay, and you have to be very careful when it comes to using the sacrificial knife because you can very easily kill yourself. So yeah, it's not a good thing to click haphazardly with the knife. That being said, be careful clicking, but otherwise having the Fallen Kanade here will help this out immensely. Now, the altar in its tier 1 form can hold 10,000 LP, or life points. Okay, and along with that 10,000 LP, you can do a bunch of things. You can make things. Okay, now, that being said, keep in mind that one right click of the sacrificial knife is 200 life points. Okay, that's the base stat. That can be altered later when you add different things to the altar to enhance it, but at its base level, one click is 200 points. And because I've been talking this whole time, I have not been paying attention to how much life points is in the altar now, so we're just going to keep right clicking for a little bit until it gets full. Now, there is going to be a way to tell how full the altar is, and we'll get to that maybe this episode, depending on how fast this goes. Keep in mind that you do need to eat a lot. Okay, there, it stopped filling any higher when I was right-clicking, so it is now full. Should have about 10,000 LP in it. Okay, now that we have some life points, we can go ahead and do several things. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to right-click on the altar with this smooth stone. Okay, as you can see, the particle effects are coming up off it now, and that means that it is processing. Okay, there's no GUI, there's no interface for this that shows you what's going on inside the altar, but when you have those particle effects coming up off it, that's its way of showing you that it is processing. Okay, it's kind of just like the little arrow on the on a furnace. It's showing you that, hey, it's doing something. Okay, so you right-click with an empty hand to get something back out of the altar. It will not come back out of the altar unless you have an empty hand. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm making blank slates. And as you can see by this right here, a blank slate is a piece of smooth stone in the blood altar, and that the base altar will use 5 LP per tick, and it requires 1000 LP to make the blank slate. So if you want to do the math there, it'll tell you how long it's going to take for it to process. So yeah, we're not going to do the math because I don't care that much, but we're going to go ahead and make a couple more of these. Now, in the meantime, while that's going on, we need to go ahead and get one other thing, and I just completely blanked out as to what that one thing is. Yeah, I just completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, so we're making these, and we're going to go ahead and make, here we go. It's going to make things with these, okay? Basically, there's a couple things you can do to use these. In this case, shaped crafting. No, that's not what we want. Blood altar again. Shaped orb crafting. I didn't realize NEI got its own space for this. Cool. We're going to want, first off, we're going to want to make blood runes, which is going to require 2 blank slates and a bunch more smooth stone. I can see where I need to cook up more smooth stone in the meantime. But the divination sigil is the first thing we're going to want as far as using these slates go. But before we can make a divination sigil, we're going to need a blood orb. And I didn't want the weak blood orb. I wanted the weak blood orb, not that one. Here we go. The tier 1 altar, a diamond in a tier 1 altar with 2000 LP will create the weak blood orb. And that is the first step into moving forward in this mod. So we're going to need a diamond. And you know what, while I'm here, let's go ahead and, yeah, this is going to be a thing, I can tell. We're going to go ahead and make up some extra smooth stone. Because there's no harm in it, I've got all I could ever use. So let's go ahead and right click this in here. As you can see, the particle effects are flying through, but let's go ahead and add some more blood. Ooh, I was not paying close enough attention and almost killed myself. If I do much of this on camera, I will kill myself. Every time I play with blood magic, I manage to kill myself at least once. I will most likely do it 5 or 6 times. That's why we're going to try our best to get to the point where we're not going to be using my blood anymore, because I don't want to use my blood. That's gruesome. We don't want to use my own blood. How dare it make me bleed my own blood? Anyway, so we should get the weak blood orb here in just a second, and I'm going to go ahead and while that's cooking, oh hey, I can use that crafting station. I should have put it over next to that crafting station to begin with. Oh well. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a chest. I said a chest, not multiple. Actually, you know what? I'm going to need more than one. Yay, my orb is done. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put a thing. You know the thing. We're going to go ahead and put one of these in each of these locations and grab my blood orb. Now, everything with blood magic requires that you right-click it to activate, okay? This says stores raw life essence, but it doesn't say anything else. When I right-click this, it takes 1 heart of my blood, takes 200 of my LP, but now it says that its current owner is Geronitis, okay? So always remember to right-click everything with blood magic because it binds it to your character. There are a lot of things in blood magic that do not work properly if you do not bind it to you. So anytime you make a new item that is specific to blood magic, make sure you right-click it in your hand so that it will activate correctly and function. All right? So now that we have that going, what we want to do now is make that divination sigil. And I want this crafting table closer at hand. So let's just go ahead and, yeah, let's put it right here. And we'll fill our divot. We'll attempt to fill our divot unsuccessfully. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and toss another piece of smooth stone in here. Alright, so now that we've got that going, we can go ahead and actually moving that crafting station didn't do me any good because I don't have any glass out here. We're going to need the divination sigil. Now, the divination sigil by itself is going to be very, very useful. We're going to use it to do, come here, just give me all this. There. The divination sigil by itself is going to be used to determine how much life points, life essence, is in our altar. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this together real quick. And you put the blood orb in. The blood orb is never used up in a recipe. As you can see, it's just putting life essence into things. So yeah, don't worry about using it in a crafting recipe. You won't have to make another one unless you use it to be specifically transformed into something else, which we'll get into later, very, very much later. All right, so now we have a divination sigil. Peer into the soul to get the current essence. Okay, when you right click this on the altar, it tells you how much is in it. It says altar's current essence 7,852, current tier is 1, and the current capacity is 10,000 LP. Okay, so that gives you all the information about the altar itself. Now, if you don't happen to be looking at the altar and you right click, it tells you information about you personally. Okay, my current essence is 200 LP. Okay, that is my current soul essence. Essentially, it's how much I have stored inside myself. Okay, so when I right click this normal orb, it takes 1 heart from me, but since I'm not at the altar, it is going to be storing it in my personal soul network. Okay, so now I have 400. Now I should have 1200. Okay, and you're basically storing it in your personal network. It's basically your own storage capacity thing that you can then draw from later for various things in the mod. Okay, so first things first, I don't really like the idea of having to stand here and constantly click stones in and out of this thing. So we're going to not only start blood magic, but we're going to get the initial piece of automation done, because I don't want to have to stand there. I mean, I can stand there, and I'm going to have to stand there, but the clicking in and out, that's just not going to happen. So what we want to do is we want to find a way to automatically insert pieces into the blood altar. Okay, and there are a couple of ways that we can do this. Okay, the first thing you'd think about would be to use item ducts or a hopper of some sort. Okay, the problem is that the hopper will continuously insert items in there. So, and you can place multiple items into the blood altar. It just stacks how much it has to have and how long it takes. So we want to do these single items at a time, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we can walk away and leave it and just come back later with a bunch of stuff finished. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and make a couple of items from extra utilities. Okay, we're going to go ahead and make an item transfer node. The item transfer node is actually very simple to create. You can get a single one with a block of redstone, or we can get multiples with an ender pearl. We're going to require some transfer pipes, which is going to be some smooth stone slabs, glass, redstone. So we're going to go ahead and do that, because that is actually going to be the easiest way to do this. Look at all the smooth stone. Hooray. Alright, I've got the glass, I've got the smooth stone. Let's go ahead and get some smooth stone slabs. Yeah, that should be plenty. That's probably more than I need, but you know, I always like to have extras. Oops, wrong one. And an ender pearl. Ooh, wow, we're running lower on ender pearls than I thought we were. I have to go hunting some endermen at some point. Alright, so this should not work because I don't have a chest, because I used the chests out there. It's okay. I can still work with this. Alright, transfer nodes. Oh, that's right, I need to make these first. No, this. No redstone. I'll figure it out eventually, I promise. It's not that I don't know what I'm doing, it's that I just keep forgetting to pick things up and I keep skipping ahead. Stop doing... What is... No, I don't want a sorting pipe. Here we go. Alright. Now then, can we actually make the transfer node, please? Yes, we can. Alright, so that got us 4 item transfer nodes, okay? So we're going to use these transfer nodes to help work with this, but we're going to need to do something a little bit more specific. So let's go out here and explain how this is going to work. If we were to put a normal item transfer node on the front of this chest, it is going to be pulling from this chest, okay? This thing searches in the chest for items that it has, and then it's going to search for a place to put said items, okay? So as you can see, and I put the smooth stone in here, it is taking the smooth stone out and putting it into the node itself, into the node's internal buffer. So inside the internal buffer, it is now searching for inventories, okay? And now, since this doesn't have anywhere to go, because the blood altar is currently full, it is not going to be able to put anywhere, and I am starving to death standing next to this fallen Kanade. Let's get out of its range for just a second here. Alright, so once we take the blood rune out of here, we're going to see that, oh no, look, see, there, that's not going to work. It put 20 stone in there at once, and I'm not okay with that. So since I don't, where's the rest of the stone? Did I not put like a stack in there? No, whichever. As you can see, it's putting multiples in there at once, and I don't want multiples in there at once. I want it to be singles. So because I want singles, we're going to go ahead and take those out. And since this is going to put multiples in there, we can't use it. But what we can do is we can put an upgrade to that pipe that's going to keep it a little bit better, a little bit more kept. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make a, which version is it? It is the rationing pipe. Let's see, mod sorting pipe, crossover pipe. This is the hyper rationing pipe. That's what we actually need, but I wanted to show you guys the difference between the rationing pipe and the hyper rationing pipe. The rationing pipe, as it says here, will only insert a maximum of 1 stack at any time into the of an item into an inventory. The hyper rationing pipe, however, is going to only put a single piece into any inventory at the same time. So we're going to need some glass, some lapis, and some buttons. And the buttons we should be able to make very easily. 6 buttons, glass, and what did I say the last piece was? Lapis, right. So we've got the lapis, and we should be able to go ahead and make a hyper rationing pipe. Or 2. Alright, so now that we have a hyper rationing pipe, we can actually go over here to the item transfer node, and we can put one of these in here. Now when you put this in here, you'll notice that the actual color of the pipe right here itself has changed. So now we can put these in here, and it will put 1 in there, and we'll just store the rest and wait until this one is done. Now that we have that settled, we can actually have this do the way we want it to. It will make a single one at a time, but now, yeah, it's making them, but we still have to click to get them out over and over and over again. So since we don't want to do that, let's go ahead and put the other item transfer node on this side. Okay, now that's a problem, isn't it? It's taking all of these out. Okay, so because we don't want to take those out, we're going to need a filter. Okay, the extra utilities item filter is simply redstone, sticks, and string, and we should be able to make that rather easily. Let's see. 4 sticks, string, and the redstone we already have. So now we should be able to go ahead and make a filter. Alright, cool. The filter is basically a whitelist, essentially. It's because normally filters can be made with whitelists or blacklists. In this case, the filter is used as a whitelist. Anything can pass through unless you put a filter, and with the filter, you can choose what is allowed to go through. In this case, we're just going to have it let blank slates through. So by right-clicking this in the world, it opens it up and lets you choose what is allowed in there. So now by right-clicking on this, we can actually put the filter in right here, and now it says that the only thing allowed through here is blank slates. Okay, so now we can put in all the smooth stone over here we want, and it will go ahead, put it in here. When it makes the smooth slate, the blank slate will then be pulled out and stuck in this chest. That quick, that simple, and we now have basically automated the production of slates. Now, we still have to add our own life essence to it, but that's unfortunately just something that's going to have to be dealt with for this point. At least we have the Fallen Kanade to help us out in the meantime. So let me just have a minute here. I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of these slates because we're just going to stand here and cut ourselves repeatedly while we make these slates. And we'll be back in just a minute when we will actually do something with them. See, I told you I'd do it. It's like I can't help myself. I really just cannot seem to stop the fact that this happens to me. I don't know, I'm weak. I don't know. Now I gotta reorganize my entire inventory. That's very annoying to have to do. But in the meantime, brilliance itself. Alright, put that on, that on, that on. Baubles gets this, then that and that. So yeah, I did. I told you I was going to, and I did. This is not going to be the first time you see me drop dead because I'm a little too enthusiastically clicking. Yeah, let's go with enthusiastically clicking. That sounds like a good way to put this. So yeah, I killed myself, but that's alright because, there are worse things than death, I guess. Anyway, so before I killed myself, I think, yes, we're up to 37 of these, so that's awesome. Before we're done with this, we're probably going to need several stacks of these, just warning you ahead of time, you're going to use a lot of these blood magic blank slates. So, well, actually, that's showing a little bit low again. Let's go ahead and carefully this time put some more in here. Why did that not seem to put any in there? Okay, is for some reason this thing not working? Oh, because of Soul Fray. Point to make, when you have blood magic going, if you accidentally kill yourself, or actually pretty much any time you die, you get this effect called Soul Fray. Okay, the effect called Soul Fray basically makes it so that for 5 minutes after you die, you cannot put any blood into the blood altar. Yet another reason why I need to be more careful about this. But that's okay. I have enough stuff with it to do what I need to do for now, so let's go ahead and grab what we have. Okay, so now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and make some blood runes. Okay, blood runes are necessary to upgrade your blood altar. Okay, there are currently 5 tiers of altars. There will at some point be, dang it, there will at some point be higher tiers of, where's my smooth stone? Oh, it's all in there, okay. A tier 6 blood altar has been developed, although it's not available in this version of the pack yet. And since I'm talking about versions of the pack, I might want to make notice that I'm still on version 1.01 of the pack. 1.02 came out a while ago, but I decided to bypass that one. There was a bug in it that was making it so that Steve's Factory Manager's auto-crafting, like I was auto-compressing my cobblestone, that process would make everything take incredibly long. It basically would cause, well, it's not that it took a long time, it caused immense amounts of server lag. And, well, since I'm running on not even on a server, it would actually cause my system to basically not work. So 1.03 is now out, and we should be upgrading to it at some point. I'm not sure if 1.03 has the tier 6 altar in it yet or not, but for now, we're just going to work with the lower tiers, because it's going to take a very long time before we get to the point of needing a tier 6 altar. So to upgrade your altar from tier 1 to tier 2, what you're going to do is need these blood runes, and I'm going to need to get rid of that waypoint. Alright, by putting the blood runes in a circle around the bottom of this, 8 of them in total, it is going to upgrade this to tier 2. Stop being hungry. Alright, so now when we right click on this, it's going to say 0 LP tier 2. And in another 60 seconds, I'll be able to actually do something. Okay, to upgrade it to a tier 3 altar, you can actually put more, but we're going to need, I think, another 20 blood runes, and I only have 12. So we're not going to be capable of doing that quite yet. You know, maybe I should. I probably could. We'll get to it eventually. Alright, one of the things I am going to note to you is that we don't want to leave this like this, because unless I just take all of the items out of this, it will constantly put things in here, and we're going to be using the blood altar to do more than just making slates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to need a pair of levers, which I apparently don't have any of, but that's okay. We can make a couple. We can make one, because I have one stick. Really, guys? Wow. Rowan wood. Where did I get rowan wood? Where did I get rowan wood? I don't know. That's weird. Huh. I'm not supposed to be able to have that yet. I don't know where that came from. Whatever. When it comes to extra utilities, when you apply a redstone signal, you can stop a transfer node from functioning. Okay, so because of the way this is set up, we're going to go ahead and put a lever here and a lever here. I should probably switch that around. In any case, when we turn this lever on, we should then be able to take the stone out of the blood altar, and nothing will go in there, okay, because we have disabled its pulling out. Alright, so now we should be able to go ahead and put more of this in here. Oh, thank God that lever got in the way, because I literally almost killed myself again, because I was totally not paying attention. I was just clicking randomly. Alright, so while that's working, well, actually it's not working while we're regenerating, let's go ahead and look at what we can do now that we have a tier 2 altar. Well, with a tier 2 altar, we can go ahead and make the second version of the blood orb. Okay, the second version of the blood orb, I believe, requires an emerald, and it does, and 5,000 LP. So now we can use this to go forward and make even better stuff. Thankfully, my villagers have been very nice of dropping emeralds, because otherwise I wouldn't have any, and this would be a lot more boring. Alright, here, start making me that, and here, have some more. Stop. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to have to redesign this. I mean, I planned on redesigning it all along, but, you know, now we're going to have to really, like, do something special. Must eat food. Must kill zombies that are about to attack me inevitably. Let's sleep through the night while that's processing. Just as Gerenitis died. It should have a better death message than that. Need to ask Way of Time about that. Can you provide a better death message when you accidentally kill yourself by pricking yourself to death? Anyway, so now that we're making the second tier blood altar, we can actually the second tier blood orb. Bingo, there it is. And as always, remember to right click to bind it to yourself. So now that we have this, we can actually use this to make various different things. Different potions, for one thing. For two, we can make lava crystals or a water sigil. Infinite water, anyone? That one's a fun one to make, and we'll probably go ahead and make that at some point. That is another way that we can actually put water places. Let's see. The void sigil, the blood rune, air sigil. The air sigil, ooh, I forgot about that. We can have some fun with that. Oh, but that's going to require reinforced slates. Reinforced slates are not as much fun. Let's see. No. Rune of Sacrifice. That'll be fun in a minute. Whoa, what is... Oh, I'm starving. Well, in any case, this has been the beginning of Blood Magic. One of the things I do want to do before we close the episode is I want to show you guys that in a Tier 2 altar, you can make something else that's going to be very useful. And that is going to be an iron sword. Now that you have a Tier 2 altar, you can make an iron sword. Did you know that? Alright. Actually, now that we have a Tier 2 altar, we can put an iron sword in said altar. Or we would be able to if we could actually... There we go. And with the iron sword in that altar, we can go ahead and make ourselves a sacrificial dagger. Or knife. Here we go. It is the dagger of sacrifice. Okay, whatever. It requires a Tier 2 altar and 3,000 life points. You put the iron sword in there, and it makes a sacrificial dagger. It says, caution may cause a bad day. This is used to basically use any other entity's blood instead of your own. So we can actually use this to damage other entities and use their blood instead of mine. Because, you know, I don't want to die for this, and I'm not going to, so yeah, we're not gonna. Alright, so that being the case, we're going to go ahead and break this real quick because, well, actually we're out of time for the episode and I need to prepare a place. What I'm basically going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come down here. I'm going to break this whole section out, making it a bit wider underneath, and we're going to set up the blood altar right here next to this. And with the blood altar next to this, we should be able to use the monster's blood instead of my own. And we'll have an infinite supply of it. No more me dying, because I don't like that. And we'll use their blood. And then next episode, we're going to make a couple of really fun toys and possibly make a Tier 3 altar. Next episode we'll definitely make a Tier 3 altar. And we'll definitely be using monster's blood instead of our own. And then we're going to make some really fun toys to play with. So until next time, this is Gerenitis signing off on episode 18 of my Let's Play series. Like me if you like me, subscribe if you want to see what I get into next, and as always, help spread the gaming.